Hey, good morning, CBC family. Pastor Rob here for our daily Bible reading at Community Baptist Church in Rancho Cucamonga. If this is new for you, you can subscribe and have these in your mailbox every day from myself and other different pastoral staff members. So we are in a series, really this whole fall, called Jesus the King, and we're looking in the good news of Mark's gospel about Jesus and just tracking his journey in his life. And so part of the theme this coming weekend, when you join us for worship, either online or on site outside, is Jesus the all-powerful King. Jesus the all-powerful King. And listen to this famous passage. And Jesus and the disciples have been very busy. They've been in Capernaum. They've been healing. There's been miracles. There's been parables. And then this. This is chapter 4 of Mark, starting in verse 35. That day, when evening came, he said to the disciples, "Let's go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also others in others' boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and waves obey him." Well, this week's message will start with this passage, and it's going to go into chapter 5, which you'll hear tomorrow in our daily Bible reading. But in this beautiful passage where Jesus makes a decision, let's go to the other side of the lake. Now, he had some ministry and some vision in mind about reaching just one person who needed good news. But they get in the boat, and then if you haven't heard about this, in the Lake Galilee, it was a lake. They called it a sea. It was a big lake. But it was in this lake, they'd get these horrific winds and climate changes because it was below sea level, so it's got these high mountains above it. Winds would eventually come in off the ocean into the coastal mountains, come down, and all of a sudden you go from a calm sea or calm lake to crisis level waves. And of course, as you might imagine, boats in those days were just small. They weren't anything big. So the smaller the boat, to me, the riskier it is. And of course, the disciples are nearly swamped, it says. They wake him, "Don't you care if we drown?" And of course, Jesus rebukes the wind and the waves. So part of our learning about Jesus the King is that he's king over creation. He is the true Lord. He is the creator. All things are under his power, including just a word to calm creation. And then, of course, they get to their side, and that'll be tomorrow's passage. But here's the point for us. Now, the disciples were fearful of potential drowning. That we can get, right? Jesus speaks to them, asks them about their faith. And then, that last phrase, they were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and waves obey him." So the disciples went from fear of nature gone crazy and the elements to even fear of the Lord. They were still processing that he is Lord over all, that he is the strong one, that all things are under him. So here's something just for us to consider today. So think about the all-powerful King. What are you afraid of these days? What does it look like for wind and storms to be swamping the boat called your life? And obviously, one of the things we know about 2020 is it's created a lot of fear because literally, pandemics will do that. Health issues that gets our attention, and then of course our health, our loved ones' health, instability in terms of things we were familiar with in terms of work schedules, school schedules, and the change in schools, and then the changing economy, and the changing political course, and then all the issues of justice and injustice, and our lack of unity in our country. Now, you can pick any one of those or all of those or something completely different. But really the question is will you turn to the Savior every day? Anytime you feel any bit of anxiety, anytime any fear looks like it's going to swamp you, to stop and pause and talk to the one who has all things under control, who has all the power that we need. And one of the things I love about this passage is when Jesus knows that they have this desire that things get, they're going to die, so he wants to meet their need. And notice what he says to the waves, "Quiet, be still." So even today, may there be in your heart the voice of the Lord saying, be still. It's okay. Be quiet. Let the Lord speak that to you or to the specific things that are heavy on your heart today. That He is the Lord over all. He is the powerful King, and He's got this. He's got this. And I so much love this passage that we're going to do this weekend, and Pastor Brett will bring the message of calming the storm, but then what comes in chapter 5, because Jesus is at work in our midst, not just because of, or when we're going through stuff, he's at work in our midst because He's going after to help people without faith who have yet to come to Him. And we'll see that more tomorrow and in this weekend. I hope you have a great day here on Wednesday, September 9. Thanks for this time. And community, I love you. We'll see you soon. Take care.